our speech over the communication barriers for employees and management. I'm Caitlin Reed, then we'll have Amber Smith speaking next, and then Kashara Haynes, Kyla Butler, and Natalia Martinez. So the barriers that will be covered in this one are attitudes, language, culture, noise, physiology, information, and information overload. So the one that I will be covering is attitudes in the workplace. 85% of people say that they're unhappy with their job just because of the attitudes of different people in their workplace and how they're treated because of those attitudes that people portray. What is an attitudinal communication barrier? So it's going to affect your everyday life, especially at work with your boss, or even like if you are the boss and you're speaking to your employees. So it may help to think that attitudinal barriers are behaviors or perceptions that are decisive in nature. So if you have a bad attitude going into work, you're going to treat others badly. If you have a good attitude, you're more likely to tend to treat good people's good and help them to have a better day, go on with whatever they're doing and be happy and get it done in a good way. It also helps you to have better communication when you have a good attitude. And attitudes are very, very important in the workplace because they can affect everyone and anyone around you. So how do attitudes affect the workplace? So attitudes in general can reflect how you're feeling that day. If you're having a bad day, more than likely you're going to have a bad attitude. But that's not always the case because some people are better at covering up their attitudes and faking it till they make it at work. So having a bad attitude can just make your day go downhill and your overall work experience just go downhill. Having an upbeat attitude can help improve upward and downward communication, which increases more productivity and sales in the workplace. So if you have a good attitude, you're doing good at work, you're going to have a better moral look on work, and it can also help increase your sales in the workplace because your customers see that person has a good attitude, their management has a good attitude. It makes them want to buy from you more. So why this needs to be addressed. I have a personal experience with this one. So we were at work, and me being a manager, I know what good communication is with an attitude and how you can address good and bad attitudes. So there was a girl who came in. She was not having a good day, having a very rough time. And there was a new girl, and I asked her to explain something to the new girl. And she got very frustrated because the new girl didn't get it the first time she explained it. And I said, well, maybe you can show her how to do this. And she mumbled something under her breath to the new girl, talking about her. And now I can't even schedule them on the same shifts because they don't get along just because of one bad attitude in the workplace. So bad attitudes can affect work in all sorts of ways. They can just degenerate relationships and everything. They're not a good thing to have. Solutions. You're going to want to think before you speak. Think about what you have to say. If you're having a bad day, think harder about what you want to say. Give your opinion if it's requested, but think about your thoughts. Organize them and soften your tone. Encourage feedback. Make sure that the person wants feedback. If they don't want feedback, it could ruin a relationship in the workplace. Proof of solution. The manager's employee will feel heard and feel better about the conversation without attitude being given. Or if you have a good attitude. Overall satisfaction at the work will skyrocket and help people feel more confident in their work and how they do their work if the bosses and the employees have good attitudes. Conflict will also be avoided if everyone's feelings are taken into consideration. So you want to take into consideration everyone's feelings, how it's going to make them feel if you say something to them. Claim of action, just be cautious and think before speaking. Have clarity of thought before speaking out. Make sure that you know what you're saying and nobody's going to take it the wrong way. Learn to listen before you speak. Take care of your body language and tone. So don't have negative body language. Don't make your tone sound like you're irritated or aggravated. Build up confidence by asking for feedback and observing others. So you're going to want to ask for that feedback. Make sure that you're getting everything done. And observe others and how their attitude is that day before saying something mean to them or giving your feedback. And then communicate face-to-face on important issues. Communicating face-to-face can help solve problems that were not necessarily needed in the long run. Conclusions of attitudes. Just always be cautious of what you're saying to others. Always think about your tone, how what you say is going to affect someone, and how your attitude just affects everyone around you. Make sure you think, breathe, get your thoughts all together before you just let it out, basically. And so our next speaker will be Amber Smith, and she will be covering the communication barrier of